Hi Perth investors and landlords, Justine from Centurion Real Estate. Thank you for tuning in, listening and learning on how to essentially become a better investor and a happy landlord. Very frequently I get asked the question, should I consider pets for my investment property? With 62% of Australian household owners owning pets here in Australia, it's really a question that's burning between when I'm sitting with my clients, the positives and negatives of considering pets. So I just thought I'd go through this with you on some food for thought essentially. What's interesting is firstly the house has to be pet friendly if you are thinking about considering pets. So it needs to have that secure backyard, it needs to have covered shelter, hardy tiled floors. If you've got things like cream carpets or wooden floorboards that can get scratched easily, or a small backyard, I'm already going to say I just don't know if this property lends itself to being pet friendly anyway. And in that is where you could probably get some problems, is considering pets on a house that's maybe not suited to pets. But if your house is suited to pets, what I suggest, and if you're not too sure on this process, is when I'm leasing properties, I put on the advert, pets considered. And when you're doing that, you're essentially casting your net nice and wide, and you're allowing those people, pet owners, to essentially come to the property, have a look through and apply, and that you're being open to seeing who comes through. At that point is where I'd suggest, well, I'm doing the rental reference checks on that tenant anyway. At this point, I would really make some investigations and queries onto the pet. So I'm going to be asking things like the breed of the pet, age, microchipped, fleed, wormed, all those hosts of questions. And that obviously is also going to just weigh it into that whole, I guess, consideration factor. So I can say that, I've dealt with a lot of tenants. I'm a landlord myself. Some of the best tenants I've had have been pet owners. So all I would strongly suggest is maybe just consider it and see who comes through your front door. The other option, and I guess food for thought, is a lot of landlords previously weren't covered for pet damage. So when we would take a 4-week bond, we'd obviously take a pet bond as well. That pet bond is actually only used for fumigation. So your 4 weeks bond, sometimes if a pet does damage, is just not going to come close to covering that damage. However, nowadays we've got landlord protection insurance, and I know there are some companies out there that cover up to $60,000 worth of pet damage. So if you're weighing up this option again, I strongly recommend getting landlord protection in place. Lastly, I also get asked the question, well, if I'm considering pets, can I put the rent up? Just be mindful, you don't want to also cut out those tenants that don't have pets, that are wonderful applicants in themselves. So what I would suggest is pricing the property. That's part of what I do. I come out and would put a rent appraisal on your property, and we essentially agree on that price, but we just open it up to pets considered. Sometimes that in itself will rub demand together, and we may get multiple applications, and in that may push up the rent anyway. So that's sort of the process and how I'd recommend tackling that. So hope that video helps. If you're a landlord out there and you're wanting to know a little bit more around this, pick up the phone. I'm always happy to chat. Justine from Centurion Real Estate. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.